Last night, this guy won freestyle with 34 points. Huge air. What a great piece of driving by Adam Anderson in Gravedigger the Legend. 51 Ford with a 1983 retro paint job. Cool looking truck, a great driver. Huge long jumps from Adam Anderson and Gravedigger, setting it up here. He wants that freestyle trophy here tonight from Advanced Auto Parts. Service is our best part. Just take a look at the throttle control. Take a look at the truck control. This guy is quickly becoming the best in the business. How many Legend fans out here? Oh boy. 5 seconds remain in regulation time. Anderson's gonna go to bonus. Here we go with bonus time. Great initial regulation time run. Let's see what he's got left. Gravedigger the Legend literally flying apart on the racetrack. There goes the windshield. There goes the body. Wow! This guy is cooking. My word! This is absolutely unbelievable.
Well, yeah, that's nothing more pretty frankly said by an intense competitor who gives everything he can to the fans and frankly feels he got a raw deal here. And a lot of fans agree with him. You heard the Mark, when he was talking, we heard the boos really well from our location. Wow. Okay, we continue on. The leader remains Max D and Tom Mentz, and Adam Anderson is trying to do something that has not been done in 11 years. Back in 2002, Tom Mentz, then driving Team Mentz, came out here and won racing and freestyle on the same night. It has never happened again. The ultimate double down. Adam can do it if he throws one down here. And he's off to a great start.
We've seen this young man throw down before. It's entirely possible he can do it here tonight.
The first of 3 Andersons who will try to knock Tom Mentz out of the hot seat. Kind of rolling around right now. He needs to get back into attack mode here. And here he goes.
Are you connected to him via radio? Hang on. That's done. He's over. Literally, he's over, and he's done with.
Well, will you quit speaking so quick?
Tongue.
Now he is done. Now he's done. Look at the fans. They're just digging it. gravedigger in the house. And again, so many gravediggers. Dennis Anderson, as a former world champion, was invited to this competition. The other 3 gravediggers earned their places here by winning season points championships. Adam absolutely dominated the Monster Jam FS1 Championship Series that fans followed all season long, only on FS1. And Adam, he just blitzkrieged that series.
Winning the racing championship in Orlando, Indy, Houston, Anaheim, Detroit, Syracuse, doubling down in multiple of those stops too. And I mean, this guy has been unstoppable from front to back this year.
And of course, this is his first year driving Gravedigger after beginning his career in some other trucks. But he really began it in terms of competing every week in Taz. Won a world championship in that truck, but then moving to Gravedigger, the legend, had a great run there. But the decision was made that it was time for Adam Anderson to drive a black and green wrecking machine. And boy, as he jumped in it with fervor.
And of all of our competitors here, this year's Monster Jam World Finals has the second highest average in freestyle this year with a 35.6, right behind his brother Ryan, who has a 38.8 freestyle average. And there you go, big air from Adam Anderson and Gravedigger.
Loving this run. Again, kind of like the chip off the old block part there, because Adam, like Dennis, it's all ragged edge. It's like it's constant. One big move to the next big move. Saves it here. Almost loses it there. Back up in the air. There it goes again. Look at that. It just goes from one huge hit to the next. And he will take it into bonus time. Now, this is going to be interesting.